Hello everybody. Just got through working out. I'm going for a run. Where I live, it's hot. Into the upper 90s. I worked on an organic farm this morning. Did a chin-up, dip, push-up, etc. calisthenic workout, and now I just went for a little over a mile run. About a mile and a quarter. Down by the river. Very short way from my neighborhood, where I live. And I was moderately injured a little over a week ago. A little tweak in a muscle in my leg. Took me out for just a couple of days. Healed up fairly quickly. And what I want to say is I learned something. I've been training people for off and on for years. I have a client and a half at the moment. I was a bodybuilder when I was young, not anymore. I was a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu / submission fighting practitioner for roughly a decade. Going back, I wrestled in high school, I powerlifted in college. I've been at it athletically for 40 years now. I'm in my early 50s. And a lot of experts out there. And I do keep abreast of some of what they say, just to potentially add to my repertoire. Most of what I go on is based on what I've learned through trial and error on my own, however. And I can say this, there are several guys out there who really do know what they're talking about, but not 100%. And one of the bits of advice I took from one of the practitioners, who I won't name, was about stretching and the different kinds of stretching that there are. They've really looked into the science, the molecular science of thixotropy and connective tissue and active stretching, passive stretching, agonist, antagonist, this and that. CRAC, C-R-A-C, a acronym for a particular kind of stretching. And I've tried a little bit of it over the last few months, because my stretching typically comes in a moderate amount after I've done what I've done. And some of the more traditional ones, while not digging into them like they taught us to do in the 80s. Prior to workout, I warm up just a little bit, get some blood flowing. And I found that I've remained injury-free from that for decades. Oh, I also did parkour for a time, for many years. So I remained injury-free from that basic program that I operated on. I looked into it a little more. It's one of the aspects I haven't studied all that deeply, and I've begun to in the last year or so. And just over a year, and so I've started to incorporate some of that stuff, and strangely enough, that's when an injury pops up. And so it's one of those experiential things you got to listen to. I'm going to go back to my old way for a little bit, see how that does, and then perhaps cycle in elements of some of the other theories and experiment with it. Continue to experiment, and that's what life is about. Experimenting. Can you hear that bee? Right now I'm drinking water with a little salt in it, sliced organic cucumbers straight from the farm, and young broccoli sprout that my wife sprouts in our kitchen, organic, all mixed into the water. Good nutrient bomb here to replenish after my workout. Drink it slowly, little tiny sips, good long amount of space between sips. Don't gulp it. Let it soak in. You get that liquid soaked in multiple ways. Not only do you swallow it and it gets absorbed, but sublingually. So you want to give all of those mechanisms a chance to have their time with it. They're all there for a reason. I don't know. A lot of times we forget the reasons why things are there. A lot of times things baffle us. Architectures. They've been around for a while. Physics, the way things move, and we don't consider it. We don't understand a purpose behind it. What's the underside of your tongue for? It's just there because you got to have a tongue. It's got a purpose. Everything does. Everyone does. Okay. Talk to you soon.